My presentation will be on Decades presentation 1940 to 1949. So first, the Holocaust summarized. So my first thing, I'll be doing the Holocaust, my first event, and it'll be political. The Holocaust was from 1941 to 1945, started by a systematic state sponsored by persecution and genocide of approximately 6 million Jews by the Nazi regime. Collaborators during World War II, collaborators during World War II. Adolf Hitler, Nazi in Germany, driven by a racist ideology of supremacy, targeted not only Jews but other groups, other groups like Roma, Gypsies, people with disabilities, homosexuals, and Slavic people, and others. The Holocaust was marked by the atrocities such as mass shootings, forced labor, and most notably the use of concentration camps and extreme camps, where millions were systematically murdered, primarily though the use of gas chambers. The Holocaust stands as one of the darkest chapters in human history, serving a stark reminder of the dangerous prejudice and discrimination in an unchecked state of power. Holocaust historical significance. The Holocaust, the historical significance and perspective of the Holocaust. The Holocaust's significance lies in its status in a defining moment. Our human history is shaping the worldwide altitude towards genocide. Status and defining moment in our human history, shaping the worldwide attitude toward genocide and human rights, collective responsibility. It serves as a reminder of the consequence of hatred and indifference, and underscore the importance of vigilance in safeguarding human dignity and promoting tolerance and understanding. The Holocaust must be understood within the border of historical context of European anti-Semitism rather than Nazism. In World War II, it serves as a sobering reminder of dangerous hatred and extremism and differences, of underscoring the importance of confronting the past atrocities to prevent recurrence in the future. Now, World War II, and this will be conflict. I'm going to summarize World War II. My next one's going to be World War II. World War II was lasting from 1939 to 1945. It was the deadliest conflict in human history. It began with the German invasion of Poland, triggering a global conflict involving most nations. The Axis power, led by Nazi Germany, Italy, and Japan, saw territorial expansions and dominance. The Allies, including United States, Soviet Union, United Kingdom, and others, opposed them. And others. Key events in World War II were Germany's Blitzkrieg tactics in Europe, the Battle of Britain, the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews were systematically murdered. The war saw major battles in Europe and North Africa and the Pacific, such as Stalingrad, D-Day, and Battle of Midway. The conflict also brought about a lot of technological advancements like the radar, the jet aircraft, the atomic bomb. Ultimately, the Allies were superior, and they united to defeat the Axis power. The war ended to defeat the Axis power, Nazi, Italy, and Japan. The war ended in a surrender of Germany. An unconditional surrender of Germany and Japan in 1945, reshaping the geopolitical landscape and laying down ultimately the foundation for Cold War. Historical significance and perspective. The historical significance of World War II is World War II really fundamentally altered the course of our history, leaving a long-lasting legacy on politics, society, culture, and our worldwide. It is less to continue to shape the international relations and influence the contemporary debates on issues like nationalism, conflict and resolution, collective security. The historical perspective of World War II. World War II emerged from a complex web of historical and political economic factors, reshaping the 20th century and leaving a big impact on our world. My next event I'll be doing or person is Viola Desmond, and she's a woman. I'll be doing for this event. Viola Desmond was a Canadian civil rights activist, a businesswoman who played a significant role in challenging racial segregation in Canada. In the mid-20th century, 1946, she definitely refused to leave the Waioni's area at the movie theater in Nova Scotia, which ended up leading to her arrest. Her courageous acts in denying to leave the Waioni area in Nova Scotia in the movie theater stand sparked a legal battle and wider conversation about racial discrimination in Canada. Desmond's case is considered a landmark a landmark moment in the country's civil rights history. She is often referred as to the Canadian Rosa Parks. She was also pardoned in 2010 and later featured on the Canadian bill, $10 bill, which symbolizes her enduring legacy for fighting equality that she still does today. Or, yeah, that she did. Historical significance and historical perspective of Viola Desmond. Viola Desmond was a historical significance in her role. Viola Desmond's historical significance lies in her role in challenging racial segregation and discrimination in Canada. By refusing to leave the white-only area at the movies in theaters in 1946, she sparked a legal battle and became a resistance against racial injustice. Her case brought attention to systematic racism in Canada and contributed to the border of civil rights movement. Desmond's courage and determination helped pave the way for greater equality and social change in the country. Her legacy continues to inspire activism in Canada to this day. Social perspective of Viola Desmond. The historical perspective of Viola Desmond is it lies in her defiance and against racial segregation in Canada during the mid-20th century, at a time where racial discrimination was wide and everywhere. Desmond refuses to go by the rules by challenging the laws and the status, and brought attention to the realities of systematic racism in our country. So my next thing I'll be doing for Black History event is Black Porters, and this will be for Black History. So Black Porters, the summarization of Black Porters. Hold on. Black porters were African American men who worked as railway porters on the trains primarily in the United States during the late 19th century and 20th century. Despite the demanding and grueling nature of this job, which involved long hours, low pay, several duties, Black porters still work this job, and they played a significant role in shaping the African American labor history to this day. They formed a sleeping car company. They formed a backbone of a company and prominent railroad, sleeping cars company, and organized themselves into labor unions. The fight for better wages, working conditions, and dignity of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, led by A. Philip Randolph, emerged as one of the first successful Black labor unions, paving the way for future civil rights activism. And the story of the Black Porter highlights resilience, unity, and determination of African American workers in the face of systematic racism and spoliation. So the historical significance of Black porters and the historical perspective of Black porters. So the historical significance of the Black porters is the word Black porters carries a rich historical significance, highlighting the contributions and challenges of the symbolic representation of African Americans in various labor contexts throughout history. The historical perspective of Black porters. Black porters. The historical perspective of Black porters is it sheds a lot of light on complex intersection of race, labor, and power in the American society. Their experiences reflect on a border patterns of discrimination and spoliation faced by African Americans throughout the history, as well as their efforts to resist and overcome systematic barriers to have equality. So, the celebration would be D-Day. That would be D-Day. Before celebration. D-Day, which occurred on June 6, 1944, was the largest invasion and water invasion, or like used by like boat invasion in history, and a pivotal moment in World War II. It was actually the turning point of World War II. It marked the Allied forces' invasion of Normandia, Norway, France during the Operation Overlord. It aimed to liberating Germany occupied Western Europe. The invasion involved coordinated landing, air, and sea. Operation with American, British, and Canadian and other Allied troops landing on 5 beaches alongside the Normandian coast. Despite the facing heavy German resistance, the Allies successfully established a foothold and began the liberation of France. D-Day's success paved the way for eventual defeat of the Nazi Germany and the end of World War II in Europe. The historical significance and perspective of D-Day. Historical significance of D-Day is D-Day stands out one of the most significant military operations in history, symbolizing the triumphs of good over evil at the enduring spirit of the human courage and resilience in the face of fear. Historical perspective of D-Day is D-Day holds a multi-faced historical perspective, encompassing the military strategy that America and Britain and Canada use, all the Allied forces use, and human tragedy and global impact and collective memory. It stands as a testament to resilience and human spirit in the enduring quest for freedom and peace in face of adversary. NATO. So my surprise topic is going to be NATO. And NATO stands for... So what NATO stands for? NATO stands for North Treaty Organization. It is an intergovernmental military alliance formed in 1949, comprising of 30 member countries from North America and Europe. NATO's primary purpose is to provide a collective defense and aggregation to promote stability and security in the Euro-Atlantic area. The alliance operates based on the principles of collective defense and outlined. In the Atlantic area. NATO historical perspective and significance. The historical perspective of NATO, historical significance of NATO, is NATO lies in its role as a cornerstone of the united Euro-Atlantic security, promoting stability, democracy, and cooperation among its members. The states and contributing to the maintenance of peace and rapidly changing rapidly changing peace in our world. The historical perspective of NATO is that NATO highlights the role of a cornerstone of the Euro-Atlantic security, promoting collective defense, transatlantic partnership, and cooperation, addressing evolving security threats and challenges. So my second last slide will be on Cold War, and this will be on immigration. The Cold War began after the surrender of Nazi Germany in 1945, which is an uneasy alliance between the United States, Great Britain, and on the other hand, the Soviet Union. On the other started to fall apart, the Soviet Union began to establish a left wing of governments, countries on Eastern Europe, determined to safeguard the possible renewed threat from Germany. The Americans and the British were worried that the Soviet domination in Eastern Europe might have been permanent. The Cold War was solidified in 1946-1948 when U.S. had brought out certain Western countries and under the American influence, and Soviets had established opening regimes. Nevertheless, there was very little weapons on the battlefield during Cold War. It was waged mainly on political and economic and propaganda fronts and lasted until 1991. Historical significance and perspective of the Cold War. Historical significance of the Cold War is that it lies in its profound impact on international systems, shaping the course of the 20th century history and leaving lasting legacy of global politics, security dynamics, and ideology rivals. Historical perspective of the Cold War is that it underscores the significance of defining the period of the 20th century in history marked by ideology, conflict, military competition, geopolitics, tension between the United States and Soviet Union. My last slide I'll be doing is war brides. This is gonna be my own thing that I choose, and my own event's gonna be on the war brides. So what are the war brides? The war brides refers to the estimated 48,000 young women who met married Canadian servicemen during the Second World War. These war brides were mostly from Britain, but a few thousand were also from the areas of Europe, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Italy, and even Germany. The historical significance of the war brides. Historical significance of the war brides. That war brides hold a historical significance as a symbol of cultural exchange, and in our human impact of family reunification and resiliation, historical memory. Their experiences reflect on the broader social, cultural, and political dynamics of wartime. The post-war periods of our understanding of the human dimensions of conflict and resilience. So, perspective war brides. War brides underscore the significance of as individuals who navigated the complexities of the war, immigration, and cultural adaptation. Their stories serve as testaments of resilience, human spirit, and enduring power of love, hope, and amidst in dark times. That is the end of my presentation. I hope you guys liked it.